What if I told you that the simple act of looking at something changes it at the quantum level, not metaphorically, literally? Physicists have proven this thousands of times in controlled laboratory settings. When you observe a particle, it behaves differently than when you're not watching. The universe responds to interaction with its environment. Now, in the world of manifestation, we believe something profound, that human consciousness is a uniquely powerful form of observation. We believe your awareness doesn't just witness reality, it participates in creating it. And here's what most people miss. This isn't just happening in physics labs. It's happening in your life, right now, every single moment. You're collapsing waves of possibility into form with every thought, every focus, every expectation. Most people do this unconsciously, reinforcing the same patterns over and over. But once you master the observer effect from a manifestation perspective, once you learn to observe with conscious intention, you gain access to the foundational mechanism of all reality creation. This video gives you 4 techniques, including the exact step-by-step observer effect protocol that bridges quantum science with conscious manifestation practice. Let's start with a question that's going to shift everything. Are you creating your reality, or are you just observing it? Most people would say observing. They'd say reality exists independently and we're just moving through it, watching it unfold. But quantum physics reveals something that shattered that assumption completely. Observation isn't passive, it's creative. When you observe something at the quantum level, you literally change it. You collapse it from a field of possibilities into one definite outcome. This is called the observer effect. And it's not theory, it's proven, measurable, repeatable science. Now, here's something important to clarify right from the start. In physics, the observer effect doesn't require human consciousness. It's about any interaction with the environment, any measurement, any entanglement with a system. A photon hitting an electron is an observation. A detector measuring a particle is an observation. The universe is constantly observing itself through countless interactions happening every microsecond. But here's where manifestation comes in, and this is what we believe. Human consciousness is a uniquely powerful form of observation. We believe that because you have awareness, intention, and choice, your observation carries creative potential beyond simple environmental interaction. We're drawing inspiration from quantum physics to understand what we believe happens when conscious awareness engages with the field of possibility. Now here's where it gets profound for manifestation practice. If observation through interaction changes quantum particles, and everything in your body, in your environment, in your entire reality is made of quantum particles, then in the manifestation world, we believe your conscious observation is shaping your world at the most fundamental level, every single moment. You're not just witnessing your life. We believe you're actively constructing it through the lens of your awareness. And most people have no idea they're doing this. They're observing unconsciously, collapsing the same probabilities, creating the same circumstances, living the same patterns on repeat. But you're about to change that. Because in this video, I'm breaking down the observer effect in a way that makes it practical, applicable, and transformative from a manifestation perspective. I'm giving you 4 techniques rooted in how quantum observation actually works in physics, adapted for conscious reality creation. And that 4th one? It's the Advanced Observer State Protocol, inspired by methods quantum physicists use to demonstrate environmental interaction, but designed for intentional manifestation practice. This isn't just spiritual talk, this is quantum science as the foundation for what we believe about conscious creation. Let's go deep. So let's talk about the experiment that proved all of this. The double slit experiment. This is the most famous experiment in quantum physics, and for good reason. It completely dismantled our understanding of objective reality. Here's how it works. Scientists set up a barrier with 2 slits in it. Then they shoot particles, let's say electrons, toward the barrier. On the other side, there's a screen that records where the particles land. Now, if you're not measuring which slit the electron goes through, something strange happens. The electrons create an interference pattern on the screen, multiple bands of light and dark. That pattern only occurs when something is behaving like a wave, spreading out and going through both slits simultaneously. So when unobserved, electrons act like waves of probability, existing in multiple states at once, taking all possible paths. But here's where reality breaks. The moment you set up a detector to measure which slit the electron passes through, the interference pattern disappears. Suddenly, the electrons behave like particles. They go through one slit or the other, not both. The wave function collapses, and the only thing that changed? Interaction with the measurement device, the presence of environmental observation. That's it. The act of measuring, of interacting with the system, determined whether the electron behaved as a wave or a particle. Now, in physics, this doesn't prove that human consciousness creates reality. It proves that interaction with the environment changes quantum states. But in manifestation, we believe this principle extends to conscious awareness. We believe your awareness is a form of interaction with the quantum field. And just as a detector collapses wave functions through interaction, we believe your conscious observation collapses probabilities through the interaction of your awareness with possibility. This is observer effect manifestation at the quantum level, drawing from proven physics to understand what we believe about conscious creation. Let me say this clearly, because this is the foundation of everything. In physics, observation means environmental interaction. In manifestation, we believe conscious human observation is a uniquely intentional form of that interaction. Before you observe, particles exist in superposition, all possible states at once. The moment observation occurs through interaction, one state becomes real, the others disappear. In manifestation, we believe you don't just discover reality. We believe you participate in selecting which version of reality manifests through your conscious focus and intention. This is what we believe observer effect manifestation means, proven quantum mechanics as inspiration for conscious reality creation. And here's what we believe based on this quantum principle. This doesn't just apply to electrons in labs. In manifestation, we believe your body is made of quantum particles that respond to your conscious observation. Your environment is made of quantum particles. And we believe all of those particles exist in states of probability until your observation collapses them into form. Which means, in our manifestation framework, we believe your life, your circumstances, your relationships, your health, your finances, all of it exists as waves of possibility. And what collapses those waves? We believe it's your observation, your focus, your awareness, what you expect, what you look for, what you believe you'll see. We believe that's what becomes real. Now, some scientists try to argue that it's the measuring device, not consciousness, that causes the collapse, and they're right from a physics standpoint. It's environmental interaction. But further research reveals something fascinating. Experiments have shown that even delayed observation, where you decide whether to measure after the particle has already passed through the slits, still changes the outcome retroactively. The quantum system responds to future interaction. In manifestation, we believe this suggests that consciousness, when operating with coherent intention, creates a form of interaction that influences probability across time and space. So what does this mean for you in manifestation practice? We believe you're not a passive observer in a fixed universe. We believe you're an active participant in a probabilistic universe. Every moment, infinite possibilities exist. And in our manifestation framework, we believe your observation, conscious or unconscious, is selecting which ones become real through the interaction of your awareness with the field. If you're constantly observing lack, problems, limitations, we believe you're collapsing those probabilities. If you're observing possibility, opportunity, expansion, we believe you're collapsing those instead. The universe doesn't care which you choose. In manifestation, we believe it simply responds to what you observe. This is reality creation in its purest form, quantum mechanics as the foundation for what we believe about how observation creates reality. Let me bring in some neuroscience here, because this bridges science with manifestation practice beautifully. Your brain is wired to create reality through observation. There's a network in your brain called the reticular activating system, or RAS. It's a filter. Every second, millions of bits of sensory information hit your awareness. Sights, sounds, sensations, thoughts. You can't process all of it consciously, so your RAS filters it. And what determines what gets through the filter? What you're observing, what you're focused on, what you believe is important. If you decide you want a red car, suddenly you start seeing red cars everywhere. They were always there, but your RAS wasn't filtering for them until you directed your observation. That's not coincidence. In manifestation, we believe your brain operates as a quantum observation device. We believe you're collapsing the wave function of your sensory experience based on what you're looking for. And here's the deeper layer. The more you observe something, the more your brain wires itself to keep observing it. Neural pathways strengthen, observation becomes automatic. And that automatic observation, we believe, keeps collapsing the same probabilities, creating the same reality over and over. This is why people get stuck in patterns. They're unconsciously observing the same things, which strengthens the same neural pathways, which causes them to observe the same things, which we believe collapses the same outcomes. It's a loop. But the beautiful thing, you can break it. You can redirect your observation, and when you do, everything shifts. Your brain rewires, your focus changes. And in manifestation, we believe the probabilities you collapse change too. This is observer effect manifestation in practice, using conscious observation to reshape what we believe is the reality you're creating through awareness. Let's get practical. Technique number 1, conscious observation redirect. This is the simplest but most powerful shift you can make. For the next 7 days, practice this. Multiple times a day, pause and ask yourself, what am I observing right now? Not just with your eyes. With your entire awareness, what are you focused on? What thoughts are running? What emotions are present? And most importantly, is this observation aligned with the reality you want to create? If the answer is no, redirect. Consciously choose a different point of observation. If you're observing stress, shift to observing one thing that's working. If you're observing lack, shift to observing one moment of abundance, even if it's small. A good meal, a kind word, a breath of fresh air. You're not pretending problems don't exist. In manifestation, we believe you're choosing which probability wave to collapse. You're training your brain to observe differently. And in our framework, we believe observation creates reality. So when you change what you observe, we believe reality changes. Do this 10 times a day minimum. Set reminders if you need to. Every time you redirect your observation, in manifestation, we believe you're collapsing a different wave function. You're creating a micro shift. And those micro shifts compound. After 7 days, most people notice their default observation has changed. They're no longer automatically focusing on what's wrong. They're noticing what's emerging, what's possible, what's shifting. And when that happens, we believe the observer effect kicks in. We believe reality reorganizes around your new observation. This is quantum observation in daily practice, the foundation of what we believe about reality creation. Technique number 2, double slit awareness practice. This one's based directly on the double slit experiment. You're going to practice holding 2 states simultaneously, like a particle in superposition, and then consciously collapsing into the one you choose. Here's how it works. Think of a situation in your life that feels stuck or challenging. Now, instead of observing it from one perspective, practice observing it from 2. First perspective, observe it as a problem. Really feel that. Notice the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations that arise when you view it as something wrong or broken. Don't judge it. Just observe it fully. Spend 2 minutes in this observation. You're experiencing the wave function in one state. Now shift second perspective. Observe the exact same situation as an opportunity, as a doorway, as something that's happening for you, not to you. What emerges when you observe it through this lens? What possibilities appear? What actions feel aligned? Spend 2 minutes in this observation. You are experiencing the wave function in another state. Here's the key. In manifestation, we believe both observations are valid. We believe both exist as probabilities in the quantum field. The situation isn't objectively a problem or an opportunity. In our framework, we believe it's both, simultaneously, until you collapse it through observation. And you get to choose which wave function to collapse. After experiencing both, consciously choose, say out loud, I choose to observe this as opportunity. In manifestation, I believe I collapse this wave function into growth and then act from that observation. Make one decision, take one step, send one message, whatever feels aligned with the opportunity perspective. You've just practiced observer effect manifestation consciously. You've demonstrated to yourself that your observation determines what feels real. And the more you practice this, the more you realize in manifestation, we believe nothing in your life is fixed. We believe everything is probabilistic. And we believe you're the one collapsing the probabilities through where you place your awareness. This is reality creation at the most fundamental level, choosing which quantum state to observe into existence based on what we believe about conscious creation. If this blew up your mind, hit subscribe and bell icon next to it. Also join our manifestation club on gogetter.au. This isn't just a channel, it's a space where we practice becoming conscious observers of our own reality. If you felt a shift while watching, in manifestation we believe you're already changing what you're collapsing into form. We're not just learning theory, we're activating our capacity to shape reality through observation. Let's keep expanding together. Now let's talk about the science behind why we believe this works. Dr. Joe Dispenza has studied this extensively. He talks about how when you change your observation, you change your brain's electromagnetic signature. And that electromagnetic field extends beyond your body. It interacts with the quantum field around you. When you observe something with focused intention and elevated emotion, you create coherence in that field. And coherent fields have measurably more influence on quantum systems than chaotic ones. This is established science. In manifestation, we believe this means your coherent observation has real creative power. The HeartMath Institute has proven this too. They've shown that heart coherence, the state you enter when you feel gratitude, appreciation, or love, creates an ordered electromagnetic field that can be detected several feet away from your body. And that field doesn't just broadcast, it influences, it affects the coherence of other systems, including other people, plants, and even random number generators. This is measurable environmental interaction. In manifestation, we believe your observation, when coherent, literally changes the quantum environment around you. This is what we believe about how observation creates reality through field effects. The recognition that your awareness generates measurable influence on your environment. There's also research from Princeton's PER lab. For almost 30 years, they studied whether human intention could affect random events. They had participants focus on influencing random number generators to produce more ones or more zeros. The results were statistically significant. Consciousness affected the outcome. Not every time, but far more often than chance would allow. And when participants were emotionally coherent, when they observed with focused, aligned intention, the effect was stronger. This is environmental interaction through conscious focus. In manifestation, we believe observer effect manifestation isn't just philosophical. We believe it's empirically validated through research showing consciousness interacts with quantum systems. In the comments, drop one thing you're choosing to observe differently starting today. Maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your relationships, maybe it's your health, maybe it's something uniquely yours. In manifestation, we believe this is a conscious collapse of a new wave function, a quantum declaration that observation creates reality, and you're taking the reins. Technique number 3, quantum expectation setting. This is about using observation to pre-collapse wave functions before they manifest physically. Quantum physics shows us that particles respond to measurement even in delayed choice experiments. The future measurement affects the past state. In manifestation, we believe this means your expectation, which is just future directed observation, influences present probabilities. Here's the practice. Every morning, before you start your day, sit for 5 minutes. Close your eyes and observe your day as if it's already happened and it went exactly how you wanted. Not as fantasy, as observation. As if you're looking back from tonight and noticing what occurred. I received the call I was hoping for. The meeting went smoothly. I felt energized and clear. The money showed up. The conversation was productive. Whatever it is, observe it as done. You're not wishing, you're not hoping. In manifestation, we believe you're observing. We believe you're collapsing the wave function in advance. And here's what happens in your brain. When you observe something as real, even if it hasn't happened yet, your brain starts filtering reality to match that observation. Your ass tunes into evidence that supports what you've observed. You notice opportunities you would have missed. You respond differently to situations. You make choices aligned with the reality you've already observed. In manifestation, we believe this is quantum observation applied to time. We believe you're using the non-linear nature of quantum mechanics to influence present probabilities with future observation. And people report it works, not because you're controlling the universe, but because in manifestation, we believe observation creates reality through environmental interaction, and you're choosing which reality to observe into existence. After 30 days of this practice, most people report that their days unfold with significantly more alignment, ease, and synchronicity. In our framework, we believe that's observer effect manifestation in action. Now, here's where we go advanced. Technique number 4, the observer state protocol. This is inspired by step-by-step methods quantum physicists use to prove that environmental interaction creates reality. And you're going to use it to prove to yourself what we believe about conscious observation. This practice has 5 stages. Master these and you'll have direct experiential evidence of what we believe, that your observation literally changes your experience of the universe. Stage 1. Enter observer coherence. Sit comfortably, close your eyes. Use breath to create coherence. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Do this for 3 minutes. You're synchronizing your brain waves, calming your nervous system, creating the internal conditions for quantum observation. Coherence matters because coherent observation has measurably more influence on quantum systems than scattered observation. This is proven science. In manifestation, we believe you're preparing your consciousness to interact powerfully with the field. Stage 2. Select a specific observation target. Choose one thing you want to observe into reality. Start small, something that can manifest within 48 hours. A parking spot, a text from someone specific, an unexpected gift, $10 showing up. Write it down. Be specific. I observe a front row parking spot at the grocery store tomorrow at 3 p.m. Specificity gives your observation a clear wave function to collapse. In manifestation, we believe vague intention collapses vague probabilities. We believe precision collapses precise outcomes. Stage 3. Engage full spectrum observation. Now this is crucial. You're not just thinking about the outcome. You're observing it with every sense. Close your eyes and see it. What does it look like? Observe yourself in that moment. Hear it. What sounds are present? Feel it. What sensations arise in your body when this outcome is real? Taste it. Smell it, if applicable. Engage every sensory channel, because in manifestation, we believe observation creates reality most powerfully when it's embodied, when your entire nervous system is observing the same thing. Spend 5 minutes in full spectrum observation. Make it so real that your brain can't distinguish between imagination and memory. In manifestation, we believe you're collapsing the wave function through the intensity and coherence of your observation. This isn't just visualization. In our framework, we believe this is quantum observation. We believe you're not imagining a future. We believe you're observing a probability that already exists in the quantum field and collapsing it into form through focused awareness. Stage 4. Release and trust. This is where most people fail. They observe, then immediately start checking to see if it worked. That checking, in manifestation, we believe that's just observing the absence of the outcome, which we believe collapses a different wave function, the one where it hasn't happened yet. So after your 5 minutes of observation, take a deep breath and release it completely. Say out loud, it is observed. In manifestation, I believe the wave function is collapsed. I trust the quantum field to organize the manifestation. Then let it go completely. Don't think about it. Don't check for it. Move into your day with the quiet knowing that in manifestation, we believe observation creates reality and you've done your part. Stage 5. Record the result. Within 48 hours, write down what happened. Did the exact outcome manifest? Did something close to it appear? Did something even better show up? Or did nothing happen? Don't judge any outcome. You're gathering data. You're running experiments. You're proving to yourself through direct experience what we believe about how observation creates reality. If it didn't work, look at your observation. Was it coherent or scattered? Was it embodied or just mental? Did you release or did you obsess? Adjust and try again. If it did work, celebrate. In manifestation, we believe you've just proven observer effect manifestation to yourself. You've demonstrated that in our framework, your observation literally changes probabilities at the quantum level. And that changes everything. In the comments, share one small act you're committing to today, something that anchors you into your identity as a conscious observer. It could be as simple as pause, or notice, or choose. Your word matters, your act matters, because you matter. Let me bring in some ancient wisdom here, because this understanding isn't new. Mystics have been teaching this for thousands of years, and in manifestation, we believe they understood these principles intuitively. The Buddhist concept of mindfulness, that's conscious observation. The practice of witnessing your thoughts without attachment. In manifestation, we believe that's recognizing that observation changes what you observe. When you witness a thought without identifying with it, we believe you collapse a different wave function than when you merge with the thought. Neville Goddard taught this in the 1940s. He said, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Observe yourself as already being the person who has what you want. Don't hope for it. Observe it as done. In manifestation, we believe he was teaching quantum observation before quantum physics had proven environmental interaction. The law of assumption is just what we believe about observer effect manifestation expressed in spiritual language. The Hermetic principle, all is mind, is saying consciousness is fundamental, matter is derivative, which is exactly what quantum physics discovered about the primacy of interaction and observation. In manifestation, we believe reality doesn't exist independently of observation. We believe observation creates reality. The universe is responsive to interaction, and in our framework, we believe you're a conscious observer within it, collapsing infinite possibilities into definite experiences through where you place your awareness. Even Jesus taught this. It is done unto you as you believe. In manifestation, we believe belief is just sustained observation. What you believe, you observe as true. And what you observe as true, we believe you collapse into reality. All the great teachers understood what we believe about observer effect manifestation at an intuitive level. Science is just now catching up with empirical proof of environmental interaction at the quantum level. Make sure you share this video with your friends and family. You could be a blessing in disguise for them. For you, it may be just sharing, but for someone in need, it may mean awakening to their power as a conscious observer. And in manifestation, we believe their transformation will ripple out into the quantum field we are all entangled with. Here's what I want you to understand at the deepest level. In manifestation, We believe you are not a victim of reality. We believe you are a creator of reality through observation. Every thought you think, every focus you hold, every expectation you carry, in our framework, we believe those are acts of observation. And in manifestation, we believe observation creates reality by collapsing wave functions through the interaction of consciousness with possibility. You're doing this constantly. The only question is, are you doing it consciously or unconsciously? Most people observe unconsciously. They wake up and immediately start observing problems. They scroll social media and observe comparison. They go to work and observe stress. They come home and observe exhaustion. And in manifestation, we believe the quantum field responds. We believe it organizes around what they observe, and they wonder why nothing changes. But in our framework, we believe nothing changes because they're observing the same thing. We believe they're collapsing the same probabilities over and over. But you're different because you're here, you're learning, you're activating your capacity as a conscious observer, and that's everything. Because the moment you realize what we believe in manifestation, that observation creates reality through conscious interaction. You stop being a passive participant in life. We believe you become an intentional co-creator. You start choosing what to observe, what to focus on, what to expect, what to collapse into form. And when you do that consistently, in manifestation, we believe reality has no choice but to reorganize. That's not just belief. That's quantum mechanics as the foundation for what we believe about conscious creation. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's a deeper layer to this. And if you want to understand how to use your brain as a quantum computer to process reality at the deepest level, there's a video that explains exactly that. It breaks down how your brain operates quantum mechanically, how in manifestation we believe consciousness creates reality through neural coherence, and how you can activate your quantum mind to influence reality at the subatomic level. That video is already live. You can click and watch it now on the end screen. It's the perfect companion to what we covered today, the neuroscience behind what we believe about observer effect manifestation. If this strikes a chord and fills a gap for you, consider staying connected here. Subscribe and hit the bell icon if your brain just went, I needed to understand this. This isn't just a channel, it's a field of conscious observers learning what we believe about shaping reality through awareness. If you felt a shift while watching, in manifestation we believe you're already collapsing new probabilities. We're not just consuming content, we're practicing reality creation based on quantum principles. I'm truly glad you're here. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, run the Observer State protocol once per day. Choose a different small outcome each day. Follow all 5 stages. Observe coherently. Release completely. Record results. By day 7, you'll have 7 data points. And I'm willing to bet that at least 4 of them will show clear evidence of what we believe in manifestation. That observation creates reality. Maybe the exact outcome, maybe something close, maybe something better. But you'll have proof, not because I told you, because you experienced it. And once you have that proof, once you know from direct experience what we believe about how your observation literally changes your experience of the universe, everything in your life shifts. You stop hoping things will work out. In manifestation, we believe you start observing them as already done. You stop feeling powerless. We believe you start recognizing yourself as a quantum observer with the capacity to collapse infinite possibilities into chosen realities.